Hello everybody and welcome back to SkySaga Alpha 7. We are over here on the island I did a tutorial on this week because it is time for another episode of my SkySaga Let's Play, and today we're going to get up to some really cool things. So what I was thinking about doing and why we're over here on this island is I really want to go through all of my decor items because I am looking for a few items that have some very special properties. Now, I'm not sure if any of these items will have the properties that I'm looking for, because some things have changed and some of the properties of items have kind of changed as we've gone through the alpha. Now, I am being a little bit cryptic about this because these items are designed or are going to be used in one of the mini games that I want to build today. So I'm looking for something in particular that's going to make a mini game just a little bit more challenging. So I really want to be looking at a lot of how these items get built and how they sit on the ground and how they interact with the player moving around them, because it's going to be very important for one of the mini games that we're going to go out and build today. So yeah, this island, I actually had this plan to do this before I did the tutorial video. So the tutorial video actually just kind of helped out a little bit because it meant that I had this island set up and ready to go. So the first little bit of today, I'm going to stop here and I am going to build up a whole bunch of decor items because I have a whole bunch of stuff in my inventory. I'm hoping I have enough of each kind of different thing that I'm going to be able to end up building something or building most of the decor recipes I have. I have been collecting them pretty heavily, so I'm actually just swimming in them right now, which means that I'm probably not going to be able to get all of these things built with what I have, but hopefully we'll be able to get most of these built up, and then I'll show you guys what this all looks like. Furthering the plans for today as well, I really want to do some work on these island games, like I said, and to do that I'm going to need some new materials and some materials we haven't yet seen. So we're actually going to head out into a desert here in just a minute and we're going to go and collect up a few new materials as well. But yeah, then once we've done all of that, we're going to head over to the SheepBall island and get to work on some more mini games, and then hopefully kind of this week or next week, we're going to launch the minigames island. I'm going to kind of keep building it while you guys can come over and play games on it. But I just want to launch it earlier this alpha so people actually have an opportunity to come over and play some games and have some fun with it. Anyway, I'm going to plonk down some stuff, start building up some decor items, and I'll show you guys how this goes. So this is only a small fraction of all of the decor items that I can make, but it was enough for me to find a few interesting recipes in amongst the mix, and also kind of see how SkySaga have changed a few of the recipes that I know from other alphas and kind of changed them up. So a lot of the stuff is kind of like this guy. So this is a chain link, but it has a start and stop to it. So it's very similar to the actual pillars here. So they have an end and middle pieces and then the other end. So when you actually start stacking these guys together, the ends look different to the middle pieces. Now, I just want to quickly build up another one of those chain link pieces if I can, so I can show you what I'm talking about here. And yeah, while I'm doing that, I can have a look at some of the rest of these things. So yeah, those two are the same, and then also the rails are the same here as well. Then these are the cool new blocks, which are cool new decor items, which are recipes. Now, I've very quickly learnt that these arrows that you can place down basically get placed down as if they were pointing out of the stone that you place them on. So if you place them on the ground like this, you don't get them placed facing in any direction other than up. And if you want them facing in a different direction, then you have to place a block behind them, and then as you go to place, you aim at that block and it points outwards rather than upwards. But if you stuff it up and place down, as you can see, it goes and points upwards just like that. So there is a bit of a trick to placing these guys down, and yeah, it's one of those things that you just kind of need to build a couple of these things up and test them out to understand how it all works. These things do actually glow, by the way. I think I did mention in a previous video wanting to know if these things glow. They do. When it goes dark, you get a small, very faint glow off them, just like you do with other light sources. These are kind of weaker than pretty much all the other light sources I've seen, but they do give off a little bit of light. So come over here and I'll show you what I'm talking about with this chain, if I can aim this correctly. There we go. So now we've actually got a bottom and a top, and if I added another piece of chain at the middle, at the top here, this one would become the middle and just turn into more chain linking like this. So there you go. These things are really, really cool, and some of the new updates to recipes are really, really cool here in SkySaga. So I'll probably end up kind of continuing this island on, and when I get interested in something, or when I get new recipes, or when I want to try something out and see how it works, I'm going to come back over here and add down more stuff to this island. I might even attempt to make this kind of a bit of an open island, make it a bit of an open project to have all of the decor items in the game over on this island, but that may be a little bit ambitious, and it's definitely out of the plan for this week. So I really don't want to keep doing this. I want to head over to the SheepBall Island and show you guys what this was all for. So here we go. This is the base of my brand new minigame that I was building all of those decor items just to kind of check out. So the whole idea behind this is this thing here is the very, very base layer, and I'm going to build this straight on up. So this is going to be built up as high as I can get it, probably something like about this tall. So I don't know how many blocks that is. It's probably 20 plus at this point. So yeah, we want to build something up around about this tall, and then the plan is I might even kind of extend this ring out a little bit. Looking at this, this might be a little bit thin for what I'm planning on doing, but we're going to have this ring, and it is going to be a giant tower all the way to the top up here somewhere, and then we're going to fill the inside of this thing with decor items. Well, we're kind of going to scatter them around, and the idea is that you'll be at the top up here, and you'll step over a race timer, and then you'll fall through the tower, hitting the decor items on the way down, and as you kind of fall down through, you hit those decor items, and then if you do it correctly, you will be able to leave through the door that's going to be on the bottom down here. But if you mess it up, you're going to fall through the entire tower, and you're going to fall out through the bottom of the world and respawn back over there. So this is the game. That's kind of the idea and the general purpose behind all this stuff. So yeah, that's kind of the reason I wanted to build some of those decor items, was to see how the player interacted with them and how easy it was to jump on top of them and that type of stuff. Because obviously having a few items in here that are difficult to land on top of or impossible to land on top of just make this thing even more interesting and just that little bit more fun. So having looked at this again, I really think that this tower is not wide enough. This definitely needs to widen out just a little bit more. So I'm going to work on doing that, and then I'm going to add some rows to this tower. And we'll cut back to here when I've actually got a bit more of a tower set up. We'll probably end up having to kind of theme this or add a little bits and pieces to it, because we can't just have a big stone tube. That's not going to work in the slightest. But we'll get to that when we get to that. And first of all, we need a tower. The tower is coming along quite well, so I've taken a quick break to come over here to the desert and have a bit of a look around and see what we can see, because I want to come over to these a little bit more and start collecting a few different resources and materials, because there are different colors of things that you can get in the desert that you just can't get in other places. So we're going to be over here a little bit in the next few weeks getting a different colors of stone and grass and all sorts of stuff like that that we're going to be doing. Now, the tower, like I said, is coming along quite well, but there isn't a whole lot to see over there at the moment. We will go back and have a look at it after this adventure, but for the moment, it's really just a gigantic cylinder of blue stone, and it's not even as big as it's going to be eventually. But, like I said, at the end of this adventure, we'll go back over there and have a quick look at what I've done. I'll probably add another couple of layers to it before I show you guys what has happened over there. Now, I've heard that there are chests in these oases somewhere, which is why I've started kind of having a bit of a look around it. Oh, there we go. I see a chest all the way over there. And I was very, very much mistaken. I thought the chests were going to be around in the water here somewhere, and they are not. They are over on the edge, so there you go. Lesson learnt for the day, I guess. And what do we got? There's some bleach wood, a few different colors of things, but I think I have most of those, or at least most of those types of colors. Let's go check out this building over here. Alright, so here we go. It doesn't look like there's anything on top of that floating island, is there? No. Alright, so let's take a look at this place. I just need to keep checking these floating islands, because of course now in Alpha 7 you actually have stuff on floating islands, which is really, really cool. So I'm just going to check this out, and oh, we've got a Rawbone Sentry that I don't really want to take on right now. I really don't have any good gear at all for the deserts, so avoiding fights with everything is probably going to be the best idea. What I'm currently wandering around with is a grey steel machete. This is some something I got from doing some PvP questing over the weekend, and I really like it. It looks really cool. Check it out. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but considering I don't have much desert gear, it actually works pretty well. Aha! And they've left the chest in at the top up here. That is perfect. Oh, nice. And we've got our first piece of desert armor. That's going to come in quite handy. Now, what else is around here? So we've done the oasis. We've done this place. Looks like there's something kind of green and glowy down over there, and that just looks like the main adventure. So let's go down over and check out the main adventure. Wow, this one is going to be a very short stint inside this place. Okay, so this looks like it is an old-style tomb. These tombs have been around for a little while, but they are still kind of cool. And of course, we can expect maybe something a little bit different on the inside here, because of course, the last couple of biomes we've been into, whoops, I really should not have done that. Aha, fighting pits. I haven't seen the fighting pits come up before. So that's what I was going to say, is the last couple of biomes we've been into, we've seen new and different end points down here. And whoop, those guys may just be beyond my capabilities here in this adventure. Let's take a look and see if we can take these guys down. That fight wasn't actually too bad. Using the good old-fashioned charge the weapon and stand back trick, we actually managed to kill those guys off a whole lot easier than I thought we were going to. We also ended up getting our very first desert charm, which is awesome, because it means we can actually make weapons and armor for this place. Also, that was a bit of a weird awesome. Oh wow, check out this guy's like face paint. That's really cool. Dude, take your helmet off. That's just awesome. Or, you know, you could die, I guess. Nice, and that's what I love about running adventures like this, is that we're just going to slowly build up all of our desert gear as we go through. Obviously, it's not going to be the best desert gear, but that really doesn't matter. Oh, I seem to have missed a chest somewhere, or maybe... Aha, no, that's forwards, maybe? Yes, okay, that was forwards. Alright, let's go this way then, and collect this chest, kill this guy off. Come on, die, there we go. Oh, check this room out. That looks really cool. I like that little pattern that's going on the walls there. That's really awesome. Might have to replicate that in some of my builds. Aha! And some moon iron plate. Perfection. Really like the moon iron plate. I need to check for this alpha what type of stats it has, but it's going to be pretty cool to build into weapons and armor later on in the game. For the moment, I'm just using iron for pretty much everything that I do, just because I've got lots and lots and lots of it. But later on in the game, when I get a little bit more spec'd up and I have better weapons and things that I can make, I'm going to be making them out of rarer and just better materials in general. Alright, I need to take these guys out because there's an archer sitting at the back there, which I really don't like. And then we'll move on forwards. That one was a bit of a harder fight, but that wasn't too bad. We're on our way through into the next area, so this is going pretty well, actually. This hasn't been as bad as I thought it was going to be, not having all of the desert weapons and armor and stuff. Like I said, we have collected a few bits and pieces, which have helped quite a lot, and this machete is awesome for this type of stuff. And whoa. Check this place out. That is so cool. I need to kind of kill these guys off in here, but then we can have a look. Hall of Heroes. Oh, I love this place. Definitely going to be building something similar to this when I go through and do some builds. The other thing I think I would change about this is to have some like floating armor pieces and kind of some armor stands scattered around the place in here as well. But of course I can't really do that in an adventure because then that's just free armor that people could pick up and take with them. And then of course the first person through here would do that, and it would mean that there'd be no armor left in this place for anybody else, which would be very sad indeed. We'll hold on to some dates for now, I guess. I don't think we really need them. But, oh, this is so cool. And what is that? I've got two little, like, spots just kind of floating in the air. Is there actually anything there? Doesn't look like it. Just two random kind of permanent spots. Sweet! Oh, look at this place. Look at the really nice detailing on these like walls and pillars and things. The roof is just, that is a real, like, that's probably the best roof I think I've seen in SkySaga, player built or otherwise. That is just really, really cool. And I gotta say, I gotta give it to the developers. They really have upped their game when it's come to building adventures and all of that type of stuff in Alpha 7. It's just going so magically. here, and I'm loving all of the game. Loving building things, loving exploring, because there's always something new that I haven't seen before, and it's just definitely my favorite update up until this point. Whoa, look out. Rounded this corner and run into a tamed lion. Come on, down you go, tamed lion. Yeah, that's right. Oh, so we've got something. So that was the Metal Master rank up, which means I've unlocked a new medal, maybe? Come on, roll through and show me the new medal. Yes, there we go, Big Game Hunter. Alright, let's take a quick look at this guy before we go any further. Big Cat's defeated, rank 1 of 1. So yeah, I'm starting to spec out my medals a little bit too. I've got some bears. I need to go to the jungle to get some of the dinosaurs. That's going to be really quite cool. I started work on the bombardier as well, but I haven't actually got enough bombs to finish that off. I need to make some more and come out and do a little bit of that at some point. I might even do that on camera because it's going to be good fun. I love throwing bombs at enemies. It's just really, really interesting and just hilarious as they blow up. So here's the next bit, and it is the end chamber by the looks of things, because you only ever get that campfire again when you're out here by the end chamber, because I definitely haven't backtracked or done anything like that. So we've got a nice little like pre-room, and then we've got a knave boss down in there. So this one's also going to be a hard fight, but if we can keep him back... Oh, I want that sword. Dude, you better drop that thing, because that is awesome. But we need to keep this guy in here and down the stairs from us. So just charging attacks like this should be okay to do this, as long as I don't run out of stamina. And just continually doing this, he's just going to keep jumping back off the stairs, and we should be fine. Okay, one more hit, and we've got this guy, I think. No, well, 2 more hits then. There we go, bam. So that actually wasn't too bad. I literally just did exactly what I said I was going to do. I just stood at the top here and just smacked him back as he came up. Realistically, a lot of these fights these days are kind of getting to be like that. Once you have that knockback trick under your belt, a lot of the time it's just taking, you know, the 2-3 minutes it takes to continuously smack this guy around until he actually dies, and that's about it. So the big boss fights are just kind of annoying a little bit, because they just kind of drag on as all you're attempting to do is drop that guy's health, because once you've got yourself sorted out, it's pretty easy to avoid their attacks and just smack them around a fair amount. So yeah, there we go. That is that, and that is the end of this adventure. So this kind of area in here looks pretty similar to the end of the Colosseum, but I think it's had a little bit of an upgrade, and I think it still looks really, really awesome. Alright, so that is it for this one. Let's head home and jump back over to the SheepBall Island and see how we're doing with those games. Okay, so after all of the building that I've been doing and that spectacular adventure that we've just been on, the tower now looks a little bit like this. Now, it is rather tall right now, or maybe it's rather short. I'm not 100% sure. It's still not quite the right size at the very least. I will decorate it eventually too, and this island that is going on down here is obviously not finished yet. Yeah, this is what we're going for with this tower. It is absolutely huge, and as you can see, it has a hole all the way down to the void. So the whole point is going to be to fill the outside ring of this thing, and maybe a few in the middle here of decor items, and then you're going to jump all the way down and manage to make your way out through a door in the front here somewhere. But there's still a lot of work to get done before we get over and doing that. Like I said, I think I might even kind of extend the height of this thing a little bit as well. I will need to go through and decorate this guy at some point, probably with a bit of white stone, but that is probably going to have to be held off until next week now, because I really want to get this done in time for Friday's stream, so that Boomkin can come over here and have a bit of a go at it. All going well, Boomkin has probably already been over here and done that, but you never know with these type of builds, because I don't actually even know if I'm going to get this done by then. So the next thing I'm doing on this island is I'm actually filling in the entirety of this bottom section down here. I just need to get out of flying. It's always the biggest thing about using flying and the boots at the same time. They do kind of clash with each other from time to time. But yeah, so this entire tower so far has been made with these boots, because I love these things. They are amazing and insane. And even though I've been building kind of around this structure, with a couple of runs across the tower, like around the ring of the tower, you get really, really quickly used to how the boots work and how to use them most effectively. And so you end up being able to build a ring like this one very, very quickly and very, very easily, which I love because it means that I could get builds like this done in a single episode of this Let's Play series, which is going to be perfect because it means we're going to get to do bigger and better builds. Wow, stumbling over my words today as well. That's going to be great fun. But yeah, so this is actually coming along really, really well. And as you can see, these boots are magic. I am powering on through placing down this island. I'm probably going to have to add a little bit more detail into this island as well. Maybe even build a tree on it or something. But it's just kind of a bit of a filler thing right now. I'll add a little bit more detail kind of out over the edges a little bit too. Maybe go out about this far? I don't know. Whoop! And we've run out of dirt. So I got myself some more dirt and placed all of that down, and then I decided that with the island in underneath it, this tower didn't look anywhere near big enough. So I've actually gone and added a few more layers to the top. So now if we come up into the top here, we have a quick look at what I've done. So I've also got this ledge over here. This is going to be the starting ledge. There's going to be a couple of race timers on here. And then there's also going to be a finish race timer all the way down the bottom, down the outside here. And then we've got this very, very giant tube, which I probably will end up adding more to at some point, I think. I'm just going to get this up and running and started for now. And you guys can come along and see how you like it and tell me what you think about it. And then if you guys are enjoying this and using it a lot, then I'll come along and I'll add more stuff to it. I'll add a little bit more of a challenge to it and add some decor items that might throw you off just that little bit. So hopefully we're going to end up doing something like that. But yeah, here we go. This is a very, very long tube. Now, I did just check as well, you can't actually get into that narrow opening from this platform. I'm going to try it again on camera, so of course, because I'm doing this on camera, it is going to work 100% first time. But here we go. We're going to just sprint straight at the wall and jump. Here we go. And, oh, yes, there you go. I actually did manage to make it out through the gap. We're going to need to do something about that. That's not great, but it is pretty hard to do. So I don't know, we might leave it. I might even end up moving that platform around to the side just a little bit so that it's not a straight jump down. But no, we'll have to see how it goes with a whole bunch of other decor items kind of scattered all over the inside of this thing. It might not even be possible to make that jump straight down. It's one of those things, I haven't done this before, so it's going to be a bit of a learning curve where I'm setting things up and where things go and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, the next big trick for me is going to be to crank out a whole bunch of furniture benches and start cranking out lots and lots of furniture. I've got lots of bits and pieces in my inventory, so hopefully we can get some really cool stuff scattered around the inside of this tube. So, a little while has passed, and as you can probably tell by the great array of things down over here, this tower is getting a lot closer to getting done, but rather than just talk about it, we're going to go all the way up to the top, and I'm going to have a look down through the bottom here. So you ready? Here we go. Bam! Now, this dirt block here is, of course, just a graphical bug that doesn't actually exist, but that will disappear when we reload this island. But here we go. This is what this place looks like so far. Now there's a fake ladder here which does absolutely nothing, and then there are just scattered random decor items all the way down to the bottom. Now I've kind of been testing this in pieces as I go, and it may not be perfect, it may not even be possible to do right now. One thing I did realize that when I did the jump test earlier to see if I could get down to the entrance, or the exit I should say, I was doing that with the breastplate of free flight on, which means that I can jump a lot further than I could without it, which means that you can actually not get down into that gap when you're not using the breastplate of free flight. Plus, they've got this crafty little gold pan up here, which if I jump, it's just far enough away that I can't hit it, and as you could see, I was holding shift and jump that entire time, and I got nowhere near that door, which is absolutely perfect. So of course there's nothing stopping people from kind of attempting to jump off decor items towards that door, but that's going to be a trickier shot to hit. So I think I'm pretty happy with the way this thing is going, and I'm loving the look of some of these decor items. They do look a little bit ridiculous, floating around, doing nothing. I've also thrown a stove in here just for no apparent reason, just to have a stove somewhere around the place. And yeah, it's going really, really well. So I do need to take off all of my armor and stuff and do a full couple of test runs of this, but I kind of want to make that easier for myself. I have to keep throwing this breastplate of free flight on and off to get over here. So what I'm planning on doing is actually finishing this pathway that's supposed to come over here. So there's the path that goes to about here. Probably going to end up curving it out and around this mountain, and then it's going to be wood and curve down this way. Now, I don't have enough wood to actually build up a wood block version of this path, so I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use the ground wood cornice clockwise pieces, and we'll have a look at that in just a bit when I've laid out some of this stuff. So, the path is coming along really quite well. Now, if we have a look around, bam, here we go. So, like I said before, I kind of don't have all that much wood, so I'm faking this path the best way I know how. So what I've done is I've made a whole bunch of ground wood cornice pieces because I had hundreds upon hundreds of carved wood pieces, and these are 1-to-1. You build one cornice out of one carved wood piece, which meant that I had enough wood to build out this entire pathway. Now the only thing that is missing, of course, is I want to throw normal wood blocks in through the middle here like I've been doing, and I also need more stairs because right now you can see the outside edges here, and I don't think that looks the best. So we're going to go out and get some more wood in just a second so that we can finish this pathway up, and that will be that. It will look perfect, it'll look beautiful, and we'll be ready to move on. Now the only thing I think I have left to do for this particular build is to put in a ladder. Or not a ladder, I don't think. I think I'm going to go for a Springtrap elevator. I do have the Springtrap recipe now, so that's probably what we're going to do. And I'll put it in over the side here and get sprung all the way to the top. Not much has changed inside. Everything is still pretty decent and pretty normal, just as it was before. Well, okay, as normal as floating items in the middle of a tower can be. I really do need to go through and do another play test of this thing in just a minute here, but this is going really well, and I really, really like the way this has worked out. And the tower looks very odd inside, but I think it looks pretty cool as well. So hopefully you guys come over here and use it a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to wait for some more blocks to finish up, and then I'm going to go out and I'm going to run some adventures, collect some more wood, get the stuff done, and then we'll start working on an elevator on the side of this thing. And then I think that will be pretty much it for this week. I did want to put a second game in on the other side, but I'm just not going to have enough time to get enough wood to actually build up a platform for that, as well as finishing off this one. So yeah, like I said, we'll finish this one off, and then that will be it. Okay, so the final parts of the elevator are going in now. So this is the elevator up this side here, and it does all work. So basically these last little bits are just to help players guide themselves into the elevator. You can just kind of aim at the corner of this block and walk straight into it and get catapulted upwards, just like this, bam, 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 and land at the top, perfectly like that. Now, usually this elevator design would have a exit down here, it would have a set of ladders all the way down, but in this case we don't need it because the whole idea of this place is to go down in through here. Now, the other thing is that I've put this platform down 3 blocks so that once you're in and you've started the race by stepping onto the race pad, that's it. You can't come back out and you can't kind of jump down onto the grass pad and cheat that way. So yeah, this is kind of where this is and where it's going to go, and I think where it's going to stay for at least a little while. Now, I have done this now a couple of times. I've actually managed to succeed a couple of times, which is always a good thing when building a puzzle. So I'm going to try a different way on camera than I've done before, and that was not exactly what I wanted to do, but I think I should be able to make it out of here from this point. Oh wow, this is actually quite a quick route down. I might need to fix it up, possibly remove that guy because it is a little too easy to get down onto. Or maybe not remove it, but maybe change the direction that it's facing in, because then of course I can just, yeah, there we go, jump out through the side there. So there's a couple of places down around here. It's pretty easy to jump from there down into the opening and win the game. But yeah, so that is it for this week. I hope you guys have enjoyed that, and I hope you guys come over and check this game out. Hopefully Boomkin gets over here in his stream. I'm going to put that up pretty soon here to make sure that he does come over and have a look at this place. But yeah, and then we're going to keep working on this next week, and I'll see you then.